welcome to another episode of Rectec Reels. I'm Henna Makwana, Commercial Success Manager from Rectec, and joining me today is Alex from Harbour, and we're going to be talking about the candidate experience. So Alex, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, morning, Henna. Thanks very much for the invite on. Been watching a couple of these, really good actually. So my background, I've been building Harbour solutions. We're an applicant tracking provider that does onboarding and all that sort of malarkey. Been doing that for about 15 years. And prior to that, I was working in recruitment marketing, employer branding, whatever it's called these days, primarily, or the last step was at 33, where I've been doing this for so long, I actually joined as head of new media. And then it was head of digital, but yeah, and basically the sort of driver to doing what we did is at that time it was very much more of a sort of computer says no approach to candidate experience, and we just thought, well, actually that wasn't fit for purpose, so we wanted to see what we could change.
Amazing. Okay. So it's safe to say that you, from what you've said, you've been in the industry for quite some time. So with that in mind, how have you seen the candidate experience change over time?
Yeah, massively. I mean, yeah, 15 years in internet years, I don't know what that is, but dog years is, we're making sort of 45, internet years is probably 150. Certainly feels like it sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's changed beyond recognition, and mostly in a really sort of positive way in regards to the way that people build sites. And previously, when 33 used to build sites a long time ago, if you didn't have a Flash player, you couldn't apply. Maybe that was part of the screening for IT people, I don't know. But certainly people's expectations have raised, and it's such a competitive market that basically that's driven improvement as well. So it is hugely sort of improved from where it used to be. But from my perspective, it's really important to make sure that you're considering aspects holistically. So you've got to understand that it's not just that first point, it's actually the whole journey. You've got to understand human nature, and the more bumps there are in a path, the more that you're going to lose people from your pipeline, be it that they fall out, or actually the good candidates might tend to jump out if, as I say, that sort of path through the recruitment process isn't as smooth as it possibly can be.
Yeah. And I think the thing is now where things are so competitive, and actually this might come as a shock, but there's a lot of recruiters doing the exact same, if not similar things. So if your process has those bumps and somebody else's doesn't, candidates just will self-select themselves out of the process just because it's easier. The role might be better, but that role might not have as many issues with the kind of process. So you just need to get it right, don't you? So with that in mind, what sort of things have you seen impact that candidate experience, both in a positive and negative way?
Yeah, well, I think it's really important to consider all parts of the journey. To put yourself in that candidate's shoes is absolutely critical. And sometimes that means creating multiple personas, because you might be recruiting volume people, you might be recruiting specialist people. So make sure that you don't try and treat everybody with the same sort of approach. But even within an organization, there are key stakeholders that are the TA or the recruiters. There's the HR, there's the HMs, and also the execs. Now, they're all obviously playing for the same end goal, the same success. However, they're often dancing to a different tune, and that can create a little bit of discord. And anything that's discord within your process, well, actually, that's going to have the real chance of impacting negatively from the candidate's perspective. So whilst you can have your sexy career site, and I do think that that is very much worthwhile investing in getting your employer branding and your messaging right, actually, most people are probably going to come from external sources, from a LinkedIn link, or be it an Indeed post, or various other job boards are available. But actually, if they're coming through, well, what's that experience? Actually, you're asking people to sign up. Now, if you are you happy that that might create a 50-60% drop-off rate, because people don't like that extra bit? But I've already got my details, you've already got my details, why are you asking me to sign up to something I'm not sure about? When it then gets into the next step and you're looking at your hiring managers, well, actually, how connected are they within the systems and your processes? Any delay there in terms of reviewing applicants or feeding back on an interview? Again, if I haven't heard for X number of days, then actually, yeah, I don't think you're really buying into me, so I'm going to take the next offer that's available. And then the sort of final part, so getting that contract, getting that offer out, well, actually, sometimes that can only be 40 or even 50% along the journey, because onboarding, now we do a lot of work in the sort of CQC sector, and obviously compliance there is kind of through the roof. It's something you have to be truly diligent with and all. Well, your onboarding needs to be effective, it needs to be efficient, and it needs to ensure the compliance of all those people. And that's part of candidate experience as well. So again, I think over time people sort of get lost in just making sure that, is it on brand, is it this, whatever, and that is critical for sure. But ultimately, if you're not looking at the whole part of the process and seeing it as a one, then actually that's where you might sort of start to see that you're seeing that drop off, be it at first point or be it end point. It doesn't matter. You need the best candidates in, and you need to smooth them all the way through to the point of accepting and starting with you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it'd be interesting to see how many recruiters would take themselves through their own processes and actually think, would I actually stay in this process if I was a job seeker? And I don't think as many, I don't think the numbers would be as high.
No, absolutely. And you know what? I watched one of these reels in prep for this. I thought Giles did an excellent one. So I'd reference people to go and sort of look at that. But actually, whatever system you're currently using, go in. You don't have to go. Well, ideally, go through as a dummy applicant yourself, put yourself through your own process and find out what the pain points are. But even if you're not going to do that, you can still look at, actually, if I responded to somebody within this period of time, what's that going to say about the organization? How could we speed that up? Where can we smooth it? So yeah, it is really difficult because obviously, people are being asked to do so much more with less. There's a lot of pressure on, recruiters in particular to sort of get those bums on the seats and whatever it might be. But ultimately, it's got to be the right bum. And what you want to do is make sure that actually that person's going to stay. And how do you do that? By ensuring you're getting the right people and you're smoothing them through that process. So as I say, although yes, those first points are going to be really important for you to be paying attention to, actually step back, take a breath, look at who you're involving in that process, every part of it, get them involved. Again, I'm just parroting Giles, so apologies for that. But look, we're all singing from the same song sheet on the text things. So it's just trying to make sure that actually that message gets across.
Yeah, exactly. And it's about, I suppose, mapping out your processes, whether you're in need of new tech or you're just, I suppose, evaluating what it is that you do, is going to be one of the only ways that you can spot room for improvement. And if you're not doing that regularly, for whatever reason, you're going to miss things. And it's just natural to do that because it's how you've always done things.
Continual improvement is absolutely key. And what you want to be looking for is a strong relationship with tech. Ultimately, there are plenty of providers out there who, you get what you get and you buy it off the shelf. And that for many will be absolutely perfect. But from my perspective, the way that we've always done things is just to make sure that actually you've got that relationship. And there are plenty of people out there who will work with you to understand, to help you get the best from what you're doing. So speak first of all to people you're using. And if those people aren't sort of standing up and helping you with what you're doing, then it's an opportunity to go out. But as I say, at that point, step back, look at the whole thing. This isn't just a segmented piece. This actually it's the full 8-course taster menu. That's what you need to be going for.
Making me hungry now. Okay, so I'm always hungry. Okay, so final question. What advice would you give to anyone who might be looking to enhance their candidate experience?
Put yourself, you summed it up for me perfectly. Put yourself in the candidate place. Take yourself through your own process. Look at other people's process. Hell, if you know somebody that works somewhere else and they're using a different system, ask them if they're happy for you to put yourself in as a dummy applicant to try that. You have to try before you buy. You have to know what you're getting yourself into. So see it more as walking into a deli, asking for a little taste of that cheese or that salami or whatever it might be before you actually sort of take the big old chunk. So yeah, I mean, that's the place, is to try it before you buy it, understand it from that side of the fence. But also, and the same thing works internally as well, from your hiring manager perspective, your HR, don't just see you as the one central part of this. Let's get everybody involved and work out what solution is actually going to be right to get the true success at the end.
Amazing. Okay, thanks so much for joining me today, Alex. Now, if you are watching this and you're in the market for a new ATS or recruitment CRM, please do take advantage of our unique fee-free comparison service, Rectec Compare. Or if you're just looking to build out your tech stack with complementary tech, then be sure to check out our marketplace at rectec.io. But thanks so much for joining me today, Alex, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Henna. You too.